Letitia James. She is in the process right now of identifying the buildings she wants to take over immediately, Logan.
Yep.
Those buildings right now, she has listed them, is first off is in Westchester County, a Trump golf resort and private estate that's called Seven Springs, and that she's taken the first step in seizing that asset in New York. She's also looked at the famous Trump 40 Wall Street and Trump Tower next. Now that goes on to a second story, Logan, where Truth Social has, it appears, been purchased. Tell people about the Truth Social move.
Truth has essentially announced that they will be going public in a way. Now, in the way they go public, it evaluates the company at somewhere around $3 billion in essentially a sell. It's a very confusing kind of strategic move, but to really explain it, it's potentially millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially even more, that could then go to President Trump.
Right. So, I mean, there could be ways where this is very temporary. These seizures could be temporary, and then he can make good on the bond. We will see what happens.
So this is coming from the New York Times. I'll read you this. Former President Trump's social media company on Friday completed a long-awaited merger with a cash-rich company, raising Mr. Trump's wealth by billions with a B, and potentially providing him a fresh source of cash to his mounting legal bills. That is from just that. That will be more than $300 million into Trump Media, and actually his stake, his personal stake in the company, will be worth over $3 billion on paper. So that alone could change everything if it can be done fast enough. But that should tell you something here when you're talking about the business structure of this guy, is the fact that all of a sudden his worth, not even his net worth, his paper worth, will go up by $3 billion with this deal.
They really don't understand the different ways, because he's not all online. He's not all tech. These are actually fundamental buildings. Then you've got these companies that you can put up. Then they go stock market. So I don't think this is over, Logan, until
now it could be the money is, he gives the money that he has. He says he has cash in hand, according to that Truth Social post. And then guess what? He can replenish that money immediately by selling a certain amount of stock in
or
Truth.
A little bit of both. You can do 50-50.
Yeah, it's becomes a lot different of a story immediately.
Her seizing a couple of these plays right into the hands of Donald Trump. I do think that they wanted to think, he can't pay $500. He doesn't have $500 million. He's not really a billionaire. I mean, everybody that knows any billionaires knows they don't keep that kind of cash around. They keep their money invested. They keep it moving, growing, and expanding. But so they're kind of, I guess, trying to make him look like he's not the person he says to be. But I could see this totally backfiring if they go nuts on him.
It's already backfired. Let me just tell you, I'm not worried about the situation one bit. People are responding by giving Donald Trump money and support. They are leaving New York. Listen, breaking news right now. If you are a Republican doing business in New York, you better get out, because they're coming after you. You think Donald Trump is the only person they're coming for? Are you kidding me? They are going to go after every single conservative and Republican. New York has hung a sign that says Democrats only in the business community. And this is a slippery slope. I hope no red state follows through and begins to do the same thing that Democrats are doing in blue states. That is a disaster. And what we need right now are for rational, independents, non-political people, and conservative Democrats to speak up and say, this is nuts. This has to stop. This is going to ruin our country.
Can Letitia James take property that is held in a partnership or anything like that? Because people, I guess, are a little confused on, well, what's a Trump asset? Is a Trump asset a company, or a Trump asset President Trump individually? What are the rules? And I feel like it's a bit of a gray area.
Those would become a lien on the property, and they would sell his interest in it.
Okay.
So if he had like a third of a building,
they have to sell it.
They would sell at market value. New York would want to sell. They'd put a lien on it, and then that would sell at market value. So it would not affect the other participants, and it has to be at market value again. Now, again, New York property right now is lower than it's been in a long time. So this property in New York goes up and down. I mean, in waves of just, there's still, some of the most expensive properties in the world there. But again, there's lots of different ways she could go about this. And I think when people are saying, well, does that save the building? It doesn't save it for Donald Trump.
And I think that, sure, does this feel like big business stuff that that billionaires deal with. Yeah, it frankly is. This is how it works, and whether you like it or not, this is kind of how it works.
This is not how it's supposed to work.
No, but I'm saying is,
In the
it feels like a
criminal
lot
world.
of billionaires figure out ways to maintain being billionaires.
Yeah.
Even under extreme scrutiny, because you had people involved, you had business people involved also who know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, and they know what their assets are worth, and their assets are still worth more than what she's claiming. Remember, this is a judge who said that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 billion.
Yep.
$18 billion.
$500,000.
I mean, it's just insane.
Mar-a-Lago's
When I was on Newsmax, the co-host, Rob Finnerty said to me, he's like, you and I, if we got every loan we could, I think we'd get, if Mar-a-Lago was really for sale for $18 million, they'd give it to almost anybody because it'd be net value of like $200 million. I mean, it's just insanity in New York. I think he has a good chance on appeal. That doesn't mean he'll necessarily get all these buildings back, but he will get money back. And sometimes that's better than the
if
buildings.
that's the deal, just for the stake alone, he can have 166 Mar-a-Lagos.
We really haven't seen anything like this in our modern American political system, where the law enforcement officials are going to take away at the district court level before an appeal is made these huge assets of such successful American business people because they happen to get into politics.
I think it's important to remember how we got here. We saw political charges brought by a political actor, and now they're going to use the force and power, the armed might of the government to take away property from someone who is still litigating a valid claim. This is, to your point, this is unheard of. I think the reaction from the American people will be precisely what we would think it is, which is how outrageous for government to do this. We all knew, Jordan, you and I talked about this a while back. This is how this proceeds, right? In the end, when you go pursue a political adversary and then go find a judge who will rule for you without a proper due process, right. This is how it happens. And this would be a tragic day for America to see armed government agents in the street seizing assets for a candidate for president of the United States of America.
Does it feel like with James now starting to seize these assets that we're reaching the point, or we've hit that point of no return in terms to what future political, motivated prosecutions are in this country?
It feels that way. I refuse to believe that America is going to devolve to what we see happen in other countries to political actors, but it is going to take a concerted effort. It's going to take a concerted effort from political leaders, but most importantly from the folks who are watching and listening to your show today to demand that this is not the model. It can't be the case that this is the course of action that we see taken. This isn't just about this particular instance or about President Trump. This is about government power being used in a way that is deeply antithetical to our republic.
Monday is going to be a very interesting day. Now, a lot of movement already happening today with True Social. Will President Trump somehow kind of put together this money at the last moment where Letitia James isn't going to be able to start locking up some of the Trump buildings that she wants to start with in New York? We will not know really until 12:01, so midnight plus 1 minute on Monday morning when this can begin.